Tropical Storm 6, a hurricane threat to Texas and Louisiana, on tonight's Tropical Weather Bulletin. Tropical Weather Bulletin for September 9th. On the map of world tropics, we have Tropical Storm 6 in the Gulf of Mexico. Currently, it's only a potential tropical cyclone by the NHC. We are giving it tropical storm status due to its structure, how well it looks, and the fact that it has a rotation, and the remnants of Yagi over northern Vietnam. Here is the Western Pacific. We have two areas of interest. 94W regenerated itself. 10% chance of formation from that, and 70% from 95W. And you can see Yagi off on the far left there. It's not looking very good. It's probably going to dissipate sometime within the next 12 to 24 hours. Here's the Atlantic, Tropical Storm 6 there in the Gulf of Mexico, heading towards Louisiana and Texas. It's expected to make a landfall near the border as a Category 1. Then you have Invest 92L and Disturbance 3 with 70 and 60% chances of formation, respectively. Here is the Eastern Pacific. We have Disturbance 1, Eastern Pacific Disturbance 1, with a 60% chance of formation currently, and Central Pacific Disturbance 1, which has a 10% chance of formation. Here is the North Indian Ocean. We have Invest 92B currently with an 80% chance of formation. It probably won't last very long before it makes landfall in India, though. On this day in 2004, Hurricane Ivan was reaching Category 5 intensity, its first Category 5 intensity. It reached it 3 times. The second time was the strongest one. This was the first time. And we also had Tropical Storm, and yeah, that's about it. Ivan was a very destructive storm that caused a lot of damage, mostly in the United States. Here are the names in the Atlantic. Francine is almost guaranteed at this point. It's probably going to become... That's probably what Tropical Storm 6 is going to be in. Gordon and Helene are also looking likely as well. In the Eastern Pacific, it looks like we could be seeing Ileana soon. And the Central Pacific, maybe Iona. In the Western Pacific, Babinka, possibly we're going to be seeing. And it looks like we're going to be seeing Dana soon as well. So 5 potential name storms soon. Yeah, 5. Anyway, let's move on to the satellite and the GFS. Here is Tropical Storm 6 on the satellite imagery. Really struggling to get a solid center filled out there, but it has began to get a little bit of a rotation in recent frames. Not a great one, but it does have a rotation. The structure of the storm does look very well. It's one of those storms that kind of looks like it's a 2-in-1. Looks like there's 2 storms, but it's only one. That is all one tropical cyclone, I will guarantee you that right now. But it is struggling to get a solid center filled out. This could briefly reach hurricane status as it makes landfall, though. So this is not like a Category 1, like Hurricane Debbie type threat, but it's a decent threat to Louisiana. Here's the GFS. You can see Tropical Storm 6 there in the Gulf of Mexico. Let's go ahead and press play. Looks like the storm forms fairly soon here. Not just that, reaches Category 3 intensity likely. They're making landfall probably as a Category 2. 92L forming there. Looks like that becomes a hurricane. Disturbance 3 forming. 92L there peaking at 972 millibars. That's probably a Category 2. 967 right there at the very end. That's pushing towards Category 3. Looks like Disturbance 3 there doesn't get too strong. It's like that really struggles to even fully wrap around itself. That might not even be tropical there. That's not what I meant to click. Western Pacific, they've been calling very large typhoons here for the past few days. There's 94W, looks like that doesn't form. There's 95W forming right there. That's a very small typhoon, actually. Looks like it makes landfall in Japan and makes landfall near Shanghai there. 958 millibars. Category 3 landfall there. Which would not be good. That'd be 2 major cities in China that get strong typhoons. Haiku got Yagi and Shanghai getting that. Then another storm forming behind that. An absolutely massive typhoon there. 964 millibars, which considering the size of that storm, that's probably only a Category 2. Considering the size and the latitude. But that is a very, very large typhoon. That's I don't know what to compare that, but it was saying it was rivaling Typhoon Tip's size last night. It is on this model run that is quite a bit smaller. Eastern Pacific. Let's see if this tropical storm forms. So that's actually, I think, a different area of interest there. But it looks like it does form. Peaks at 993 millibars, so probably mid-range, getting towards a high-end tropical storm, and then moves inland in Mexico and dies off very quickly. Looks like that is the only tropical cyclone forecasted. North Indian Ocean, here we go. So there is 92B. Looks like that immediately moves inland over Odisha. Now, if it does that, then it wouldn't form. Well, a very low chance of formation if that happens. But if it stays over water, then it probably will form. But yeah. Satellite imagery. Yagi's still not in here. Here's what they have marked as potential tropical cyclone 6. It's okay. That's the screen had an epileptic seizure there at the very end. But here it is. It's a tropical storm currently. Looks like there's actually 3 main points here. There's this and this and this. But looks like cloud tops. I'm gonna get as close as I can before the screen has an epileptic seizure. Those cloud tops there, right there, are extremely high, getting up into the minus 90s, close to the minus 100 range. Right there, very high too. Okay, this is basically the last thing I can look at before the screen has an epileptic seizure. But there, very high cloud tops currently. The center of the storm, I believe, is right here, so it does have an exposed center. I believe it's there. I could be wrong, but I believe it's there. It's either here or here. But the storm doesn't look bad. This could reach hurricane status. That GFS model run comes to life, which it might. The NHC is not the brightest in terms of forecasting anymore. But if this reaches Category 3 intensity, and typically the GFS, before a storm even forms, technically hasn't even formed yet. Well, by the NHC it hasn't. By us, it's a tropical storm. But typically before a storm forms, GFS undershoots it. So if that's Category 3 there, then that's Category 4 maybe. But I doubt that's going to happen. I doubt Category 4 is going to happen. I'm thinking maximum, like absolute worst case scenario. The NHC is calling a low end Cat 1 peak. I think absolute worst would be a high end Cat 1, maybe a low end Cat 2. Like, I think that's the absolute strongest it's going to get. And that's still very unlikely. But that is it for tonight's Tropical Weather Bulletin. We will probably have updates as this will probably become Francine soon. But anyway, like, subscribe, goodbye.